PayPal, please. And there's something going on in our politics. It's extremism. These protesters, for instance, in Britain, Stop Oil, where they just walk down slowly and everybody builds up behind. The other day, a woman said, "Here's my baby, I've got to go to the hospital over there." They just sort of looked at her and kept on walking slowly. Nothing was beyond what they wanted to do. And in Canada, residential schools. I ran into someone the other day who calls himself an Indian. He is an Indian. He said, over 6,000 bodies have been found. I said, where'd you hear that? He said, well, I've read that, 6,000 bodies. Somebody was extreming that story. And our legislators are saying, we want to make a law that is going to be against the law for anybody to even talk about residential schools as though not believing. There's some extremism going on to work. And Dan McTeague is a politician. He understands these things. You were Liberal MP for years. You understand the change in things. But it seems that if you take a real extreme position, people will say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, or cancel you if they disagree. Look, there is a time and a place for debate and exchange of ideas, but if you're going to keep a closed mind and that becomes more policy, that becomes the rule of the state, then where does that lead us?
Well, that's it. I mean, debate is a great thing. That's what this show's all about in the analysis. But people are saying, well, we can't debate this. We can't debate climate change because it is happening out there and it's just getting too hot, which is baloney. We can't talk about residential schools, even though nobody's, we may start getting to the evidence. Our Prime Minister shamed Canada and the world, said we were guilty of genocide on no basis at all.
I think we have to recognize that the flavor of the day and the trend of the day, as important and as potent as it may be, and it's scaring people who tend to think maybe there's not quite the truth of these things, is leading the country to a have or have not in the minds of people. And if you want to take the approach that you can belittle people or legislate people into thought control, that's a very, very dangerous road in which we find ourselves. Canada's moving that direction. But I think
when you have legislators saying that we are going to make a law, now it's not the majority, but we want to make a law as a recommendation that no one can discuss this.
Good luck with that.
Well, then the books.
Well, then let's make a law saying there's no such thing as climate change. See, it works both ways. It just takes a different government to come out with an idea. I think those who believe that that's something to jump on simply lose track of their real mission as leaders, as politicians. If technocrats want to do that, then show them the door. If politicians want to do that, go up for election, see how that goes.
Well, show them the door, and yet we have elected politicians who are seemingly going to get reelected, have been reelected, by being very narrow, by being very focused, and by saying, I'm right, this is the way, you guys on both sides go to hell.
Well, then that really comes down to the constituent, does it? Now, there was a time in which they were a lot more enlightened. In my community, they were. And I can tell you that in time, people get tired of that kind of stuff, and they don't like to be lectured by people who should be shown the door.
Perfect. 3 minutes. I know that many of you viewers are experiencing tough times with those pointless Trudeau taxes. You're watching every dollar, so are we. We run a very lean operation, which is why I'm asking this question of you now. If you know of any companies who want to advertise on this station, good people watch it, as you know, from coast to coast to coast. Please let us know. And in the meantime, please subscribe and PayPal.